All right, out and about getting some more footage with these two cameras here. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about this one. You guys want to see a little bit more footage from these two, which is the all-new DJI Action 6 versus the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. And huge thanks to Aura Frames, actually sponsoring a portion of this video. A little bit more about that later on. Now, Insta360 didn't come out with a new action camera this year. This is the Ace Pro 2, and this actually came out about a year ago. Might be over a year ago now. And the DJI Osmo Action 6 just came out this month. And putting the footage side by side is actually pretty impressive on both cameras. They both have night modes, super night mode versus a pure video mode. They both have really high resolution video. Now the Ace Pro 2 does shoot in an 8K option, 8K 30. I don't normally shoot in 8K 30 for a couple of reasons, but there are some scenarios where I definitely will shoot in 8K. But right now I'm shooting in what I normally shoot in, which is 4K, 60 frames a second. So majority of the stuff you'll see is 4K, 60 frames a second. When I shoot in 8K, it'll normally be if I'm shooting in an area, just shooting landscape or shooting things where I'm not really moving the camera so much. That's when I'll definitely use 8K. But for most of this stuff, vlogging and just kind of doing some most action stuff, I'll normally keep it in 4K. And actually Insta360 recommends shooting in 4K, even though you do have the 8K option. They recommend doing all of the action stuff in 4K, 4K 60, 4K 30. Now, a new mode we have on the DJI Osmo Action 6 is the ability to shoot in more of a square format. Now, it's new for DJI to implement that because we have more of a square sensor on this one, a 1:1 aspect ratio. But what's interesting is that Insta360 also has that, what they call FreeFrame video, FreeFrame mode. And they have something very similar, but they don't have the kind of, I would say, more of a square format sensor, where DJI has a more of a square format sensor, which means while they can both do it, DJI has a little bit more, I would say, vertical width than the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 has. So you can see it in the actual preview itself. The width of the vertical aspect looks like it's more of a 9:16, and then the width looks more like a 4:3. Where here on the Osmo Action, it looks more of a 4:3 on both horizontal and vertical. Now the concept of that is to do the same thing. It's more to shoot once, and you're able to now pick what you want to do after the fact. Do I want to export this back out into a vertical shot, so I have more vertical footage in my video, or do I want to export it out as 16:9, a wide shot? And before we jump into the next comparison, a quick word from today's sponsor, Aura Frames. All right, so digital frames have actually been out for a while now. So when Aura reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to check out some of our new products? I was like, all right, what makes some of your guys' frames different than some of the ones I've seen in the past? And after using these frames for the past few weeks, I can definitely tell you that Aura did take out a lot of the friction that I know a lot of people were experiencing from some of the earlier digital frames. The great thing is that there is no subscription model, there is no monthly fee, there is no hidden cost. You basically just buy the frame, download the app, and you can upload unlimited photos through their phone app. And as far as setup, super fast. All you have to do is plug them in, connect to your local Wi-Fi, download the Aura app onto your mobile device, then you can sign in and start uploading photos directly to your frames. This style frame right here has a bright HD display, and this is the one I would normally use on something like my kitchen countertop. I'll normally upload just a bunch of different types of photos to this frame right here, so it continuously cycles throughout the day. And one of the new releases is this one here, the Aura Ink. What's unique about this one is it does use an e-paper display and it is cordless. Now that e-paper display definitely is, I would say, like a little more vintage style look compared to the more vibrant HD look we have on these frames. And huge thanks to Aura Frames for sponsoring this portion of the video. If you guys want to see all of the different frame options, including this one here, the new Aura Ink, make sure you head over to auraframes.com/ink and don't forget to mention us at checkout. All right, doing a little low light. Well, it's still like sunset right now, so it's not completely low light yet, but we'll test out a bunch of shots here now that the sun is going down on the Action 6 we have the super night mode, and on the Ace Pro 2, we are shooting with the pure video mode. But check it out, sunset just dropped right now below the horizon over here in Coronado. Absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous night tonight. Look at that. Right now we're about to have a little dinner inside of the ballroom, the Ocean Ballroom, which is right here, which is the iconic Ocean Ballroom. And you can see the ice skating rink over there. Sunset just dropped below the horizon right over here. Standing right above the pool area. Beautiful, beautiful night tonight. All right, taking a little stroll onto the boardwalk in Coronado, and right on the back side of Hotel Del. Beach is right behind me. But what's really cool is that, check this out. They have little igloos. Look at this. So they have igloos that you can rent, and you have little bonfire pits in front. So you can rent out these igloos. You have your own bonfire pit. I got a s'mores cart over here. So that's kind of cool. Look at that. You can rent out these little igloos. Let's see how well the night modes do on these cameras. There's a little castle over here. So let's stop by and check out this castle. A little sand castle. Look at that. That is cool. Hotel Del in the background. It is a really, really nice night tonight. Considering we're even at the beach, it's not that cold at all. Just in a flannel, and it feels nice. Weather is nice, but how does the footage look? That's what we're here for. How does that footage look? Pure video mode versus super night mode. What do you guys think? Which one do you guys like? Let me walk a little bit so you see how it looks like when I'm walking and vlogging. But this is what it looks like for both cameras. All right, doing a couple different tests on this one. We got multiple things happening right now. DJI Osmo Action 6, we have a macro lens on there. And the new Insta360, we also have a what they call a close-up lens. Now, I can't really tell on the Insta360 if I'm on the right setting or not, because there is no like line that tells me I'm in a specific setting. So I'm not 100% sure if it's the right one or not. But they do have a couple different options here. The Action 6 does have the option to turn the macro lens from a macro shot, flower shot, so you can be really, really close to the subject. Right now it's not in macro. And you can go from macro, really close, 11 centimeters or so, to right now, I twisted it to portrait mode. So in portrait mode, I should be in focus on both these cameras at the moment. Background, we should have some nice blur. Hopefully we have some bokeh in the background. So how does that look on both cameras? Hopefully we get a little bit more background blur on the Action 6 because we do have a larger sensor. So I'm not sure how much we're getting here. And like I said, I hope I'm on the right setting for the Ace Pro 2 lens, because there is no line that tells me what where I'm at. But this is the macro lens and close-up lens on both of these cameras, and I am about, I'd say about 1.5 feet away from the camera. Comfortable distance for vlogging. If I were to walk and vlog with this is a pretty comfortable distance. And we're also doing a little bit of audio test here too. So how does the audio sound? This is the audio coming from the built-in mics on both these cameras. Now, the one thing I do like about both of these cameras, and actually about both these brands, is that they have their own wireless mic. So right now, I'll switch it over to the DJI Osmo Action 6. We are using the DJI Mic 3. So you're hearing the DJI Mic 3 audio. It is connected via Osmo Audio, which is DJI's kind of like connection, Bluetooth connection. And I'll switch it now over to the Ace Pro 2, and Insta360 has their own mic, which is called the Mic Air. So how does the audio sound here? This is using the Mic Air with the Ace Pro 2. Now, one difference between these two cameras is the size and the weight. Now, the Insta360 does have the flip screen. So we have two screens. We have a screen on the front as well as a screen on the back, and the back screen actually does flip up and over for you to see. The front screen, as far as the one that's on the camera itself, is just there for showing you your battery life, your what setting you're on, also how much time you have left on your video. It doesn't show you the actual preview. The preview is on the actual screen itself, and you have to flip that up. We're here on the Osmo Action 6. It's all integrated. You have the screen on the front and the back. Both the screens are also touchscreen, so you have smaller form factor as far as the camera goes because you don't have the flip screen. But it is kind of nice to have a flip screen as far as size goes when you're looking at yourself. However, it's a trade-off. Bigger size now for seeing the preview, but now it's more stuff, more things to worry about. You have a moving screen, and it also makes the camera a little bit bigger. Also weight-wise. Weight of the Osmo 6 comes in at about I believe it's like 149, 150 grams. And then the Ace Pro 2 comes in at 174, I believe, 170. So you do have a weight difference, of course, because you also have that larger camera with the flip screen. The sun right behind me. See how well the dynamic range does and how it does on my face. I'll put the sun right behind. Let's see how this looks on both cameras. Peep out the side here. Now, both cameras do have electronic image stabilization, built-in image stabilization. We have RockSteady with DJI Osmo 6, and the Insta360, they use what they call FlowState stabilization. And finally, when it comes to photography or photos on both these Action cameras, we have 50 megapixel photos on the Ace Pro 2, and on the Action 6, we have 38 megapixel photos on both. Actually, photography-wise, they both actually do pretty good. Again, we also have better sensors on both these cameras. So photography, I've actually been using them a little bit more on these cameras than I have in the past, only because the photos are actually coming out pretty nice. And there it is, guys. Just want to show you some side-by-side shots on both these cameras, the Ace Pro 2 as well as the Action 6. Let me know what your guys' thoughts. And once again, huge thanks to Aura Frames for sponsoring a portion of this video. If you guys want to check out some of their frame options, sizes, different styles. Also, if you want to check out their new Aura ink, make sure you guys check out the links down below in the video description. As always, if you guys got some value from this video, a big like would be much appreciated. It's Aldrin Stasio with FlytPath.com. See you in the next one. Take care.